Hey guys, this is Super Testnet, and today I just wanted to show you my latest invention, which is the peer-to-peer playground, where you can create a pay-to-pubkey output on one of Bitcoin's testnets. Before I show you this, I want to go over what a pay-to-pubkey output is. So in Bitcoin, normally, you send money to an address, and this is what they first looked like. This is the address format Satoshi invented. A few years later, we made this one, which is designed for doing multisigs and other kinds of scripts in a more efficient way than the way Satoshi invented. A few years later, we invented SegWit, and we came out with this format, which is 1 byte longer than a regular address, but it's cheaper because of the SegWit discount and other stuff. And then the most recent one we've came up with is SegWit v1, just Taproot, and it is much longer. It's a 32 byte public key. It looks like this, and yeah, those are the common ways. Those are the commonly supported address formats in Bitcoin wallets. However, many people do not know that this is also a valid Bitcoin quote-unquote address. It's technically not an address. This is just, if you send to this, you'd be sending to somebody's raw public key. And most wallets don't know that you can do this on Bitcoin, but you can. And you could just plop this directly into a transaction and send money directly to, this big chonker right here, and that would work. You can also use compressed format. I think the same year the Bitcoin came out, I don't think Satoshi realized that compressed pubkeys were a thing. So his original client just did uncompressed public keys by default. This is like how Satoshi received money, was directly to a pubkey. But you could also do a compressed public key, which is about half the size of one. So I made a little playground where you can actually do this. Since most wallets don't support it, this little website does. So let me just show you how this works. I'm going to copy this. This is a regular, Taproot address, and I'm going to use the Signet faucet. It's got a little banana jumping around in there for some reason. I'm going to send 10,000, testnet bitcoins or Signet bitcoins to this address. It's not real money, but yeah, I sent that, and then I get to choose whether I want to use a compressed public key or an uncompressed one. So I'm going to do uncompressed because I think it's funner to see the big fat one and look at that on a block explorer, and it looks silly. If I generate my public key, you can see it down here. This is what we're going to send money to. If you toggle back and forth between them, you can see it grow and shrink, which is, I don't know, kind of fun. But I'm going to do the uncompressed one, and then I'm going to hit submit. So here I go. It is checking to see that the money is actually in the Bitcoin address, and then once it is going to send the money from the Bitcoin address in step 1 to the public key from step 3. So I'm going to broadcast this transaction on Signet. You could also do this on mainnet if you wanted to, but I don't recommend doing experiments like this on mainnet because that's not what mainnet's for. But here is my transaction that sent money from the Taproot Bitcoin address that I generated in step 1 to the big chonkin public key there. And you can see this transaction looks kind of funny. It's not a Bitcoin address here, it's just a raw public key. And if we examine it, it's super big. Like, let's see if I can copy this and go over here and paste it. It's as big as this one. So yeah, it's chonker. But yeah, you can plug that directly into a block explorer, and it'll tell you, this is received 9,500 sats, and you can use it like a regular Bitcoin address if you wanted to. I don't, it's kind of silly to do it because it's expensive to spend from such a big chonker, but you can. It's a thing Bitcoin supports. So it's not enough just to put money in there. I also want to take the money out of there. So now I'm going to do that. I'm going to send the money away from the public key and into another address. And to do that, we just need to sign with our private key. So I'm going to send it to myself, send it to my own Signet address, and then I'm going to hit submit. And if I go back to that transaction broadcaster and broadcast this transaction, we can see this one now. And this guy, he takes money out of that, big chunkin' non-Bitcoin address, but public key, and sends it to a Taproot address. So it works. And yeah, I thought some of you might want to do that. You could also do a compressed public key if you didn't want it to be so big, but I think it looks funny to have it so large. Another thing that I think is interesting in this transaction, oh look, it now knows that I received money here and then I sent money right here. But if I look at this transaction, the one where I received money, and then go down to its details, I just think it's funny to see, like, this is on the blockchain. You know, this is what it looks like on the blockchain that I received money to this. And normally, when you receive money in a regular transaction, like if I go here and then just pick a random transaction that sent money to somewhere, I'll do this one. Normally, that details thing, it shows a much smaller, recipient, 32 bytes here, because this is probably a Taproot address. Yeah, pay to Taproot. But yeah, the pay to pubkey ones, they can be much bigger, and I just think that's funny. So if you want to check it out, go to my GitHub and go to the P2PK Playground, and there will be a link in the video. Thanks.